if you're going to make a decision to invest in yourself, you do want to have some certainty it's going to work. Well, it does work. The question is, will you do the work? If you don't do it, it isn't going to work. I promise that.
Welcome to the Lion's Edge, where top performers sharpen their teeth. Hosted by Joe Blackburn, founder of The Lion, who is relentlessly dedicated to helping business owners lead multi-million-dollar teams. And me, Jason Croft. I transform unseen entrepreneurs into industry leaders by developing their market gravity. Each week, we reveal proven strategies and raw insights to help you maximize your business, multiply your wealth, and make your family indestructible. Now, let's create your edge. Welcome to episode 2 of The Lion's Edge. As usual, Joe and I get on a call and we just start going. So I got to hit record midway through our conversation here because we jumped into this topic of bringing on clients, right? Making that choice of who is a great fit for what I do and who I help. This becomes a great lesson around choosing who you want to work with, right? And choosing who you don't want to work with, which is just as important. And I think sometimes we need that reminder or that almost permission to decide who we want to work with, and that it's okay to say no to a prospect because they're just not a fit for not only what you offer, but how you offer it. And maybe, like in Joe's case with The Lion, he's got, 20 something people in there to think about as well when he brings someone new on. It's not only okay to do, it's very important to do, to make this decision, to sit down and go, okay, who is my ideal client? Of course. And also make that list of who's not the ideal client. Who has, just hasn't gelled. Because that's a disservice to them if you bring them in and you can't help them like you can another type. So we get into some of those details. Thought it was important to share. So we jumped in, hit record, and I hope you enjoy it. When you're talking about making a sales decision, I love this point you bring up. This is making a decision on a mastermind, on The Lion. Coming into this, it's a business decision. It's not, oh, should we go to Cabo this week? Like it's
not a vacation.
Right. And far from it. So describe that, what you were just talking about. Like, it's not a matter of not including a spouse in big decisions in life, but it's a matter of, are they a business partner?
Right.
Are you asking them on every business decision?
Well, yeah. I mean, so when it's you, your greatest asset, your ability to earn and lead your business, which is your number one asset, should get the most because it's the thing that drives the most growth and the most fulfillment and serves the client. Do you then sit down with them with your P&L and go through your expenses, your payroll? No one does that. It's because it's the battle in here. And yeah, they may have a say in that. It's still a business decision. And I mean, as we were talking about, what's interesting is most people, especially in The Lion, it's our hygiene. They expect to get ROI. They expect to get results. They should. But what they talk about and what comes out in testimonials and when we're discussing is what I call, I guess the intangibles. It's what we talk about in Pillars. People pay you for how they feel. It's the same thing. It's the relationships you build. It's the emotional support, which is a weird thing for me to say, by the way. I don't know if I've ever said that before. But it's not being on the island anymore. Now I'm in something where there's other people that have the same aspirations and struggles and are going through what I'm going through, probably different businesses for the most part. Again, and I had this conversation before this call. That's great. That's all hygiene. It's not unimportant. It's just expected. So that's expected to be great. Whatever your trade or skill or business product, that is expected to be good. No one buys your stuff or hires you, to do something expecting it to be shitty.
Right.
So where the growth comes from are more so is on that intangible side. And when it's coming down to making a decision whether to do it or not, like, I think I said it. It's like, okay, well, let's just play this out. If they weren't getting the ROI, I don't exist and I'm back in corporate America battling legal and HR issues 60, 70, 80 hours a week, and no one's getting results, and this is all for naught. And that's not the case. So if you're going to make a decision to invest in yourself, you do want to have some certainty it's going to work. Well, it does work. The question is, will you do the work? Are you going to do the things we talk about? Because, just like in anything, you can get all the knowledge you want, all the philosophy you want. This is an FBS, as we've said in the past. It's the fucking doing system. If you don't do it, it isn't going to work. I promise that. If you do the
So
work, you'll get results.
absolutely, and I think there's a lot of lessons in here for folks who are selling, well, really selling anything, selling high ticket and all of that. And like you said, this show, the Lion, the group, everything. This isn't for folks like, oh, should I do a good job or not? No, okay, like that's the basic stuff. This is the 201, 301, not the 101 of business. So my question to you then, as you are considering people coming in to the group, why not take a stand in you described to me again before we started recording, the high D on a disc assessment, right? The people who are action takers and go, they get the best results. Those are the people you can help the most. Why not draw that line in the sand and say, if you're not that, that this isn't a fit?
It's interesting you say that, because we in the last probably month have changed the sequence in which we introduce disc. So we used to do it first, and now I'm doing it maybe 2, 3, 4 sessions in. So maybe I made a mistake. No, there's no way. It's a good
Impossible.
question. Well, and we have, in the Lion, most people have a D. That's a weird thing. Again, second weird thing I've said today. Um, I think what I would, and it helps me get a feel for how they make decisions, what drives them, where their behaviors lie, where the wheelhouse is. And we also do some EQ work. Are they socially aware? Are they not socially aware? More importantly, what happens when they get in situations where they have to execute pillars? We want a baseline on that. I try not to be absolute in those. I mean, it's an indicator. So when I look at one, and if the C in disc was like through the roof, odds are they will not gel with what we're doing. So maybe
And
that
what's
could be
C for folks?
C. I mean, it's compliant, the C word, compliance. It's being compliant. Think of the engineer mindset or the
Mm,
doctor. So, it's not bad. They're all, it's not like D's good, C's bad. And
right.
shout out to Courtney, who's high D, high C, 4% of the population's that. That's a whole different animal of fun. But she's amazing. And by the way, she's the best in the hot seat
Mm,
at, okay, I'm going to talk to you directly, but I can pick out quickly. It's pretty cool. Like, she's kind of the hot seat ninja. Gary calls her the soul crusher because he got his soul crushed once, but it did change his life. It did. So in all, and that's how the vibe is. It's like, we have fun, jabs here and there, but at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you the truth. But to get back on the topic, that's an indicator. So I probably will get back to that. Lauren and I thought about just doing the Lion Business Review and disc before we even talk about joining. We've adding that extra step in, but because I'm awesome, decided, why don't we wait and do it here? Apparently a bad idea. But I think that's a pretty good idea. I mean, but I don't want to exclude someone, because sometimes this happens. People change, number one, so they can evolve if you did it here and 3 years later and 5 years later. And it's, those are statistical outcomes. So it's an indicator. It's not absolute. What I say about absolutes is, if you use absolutes, you could be absolutely wrong. And so there's always room for interpretation, pivot. I reserve the right to change my mind at any given moment on what I believe is right.
yeah.
So I think that is a good idea. I'm actually gonna now do what I thought I should have done that I didn't do and and got myself here.
Well, and I think that's the piece that it would be very different if it was, oh, you're interested in joining. Cool. Fill out this. Let me get these results. Nope. And that was the hard line. Like you said, it's an indicator. So having that plus a conversation and
Yeah.
other review and getting that
I'm gonna
feel
talk
like
to
you
people
have
again.
with folks.
God,
Yeah,
like my life.
exactly.
Oh,
But getting that and maybe even if you're on the fit, sometimes you're gonna have that conversation like, this just isn't a good fit.
yeah.
Love this person, but this is just not a good fit. It's not in their best interest to come in or the groups because you've got quite a dynamic that you've built there. So that's an important thing to consider. And then maybe if you are a little bit, wow, they lean this way, but then it's, you express that concern to them. Hey, here's honestly my concern. And then that's that evaluation process. So I think it's great to talk in absolutes in terms of putting that out there. On a show like this, if you're putting out content, to say these are the types of folks these are the folks who gel and work in this and not, and then take it on a case by case for sure. But yeah, maybe moving that up to an earlier, even before they join.
I think that is the route. And now 2 people have said it to me, Lauren, who actually runs the entire business, and then you, who's my partner.
Who's some yahoo that
Should I
doesn't know what he's talking about. So someone smart, someone who's just,
it's
guessing at stuff. But
baby bear porridge right in the middle. So, not too hot, not too cold. We'll go there. Yeah, it's interesting though that and I actually had this conversation earlier. It's all of it is between here, and the sooner we can identify that for them, more importantly, they get value out of that. It's probably better, and it helps us because when I was, when I was coming up as a coach, that was the first step. But I thought I was smarter than everyone else as usual, and now we know where we're at. So, but it is fascinating. I will say that.
yeah, I think it's a good indicator. And again, the lessons for everyone, running a business around this are both identifying who makes a great client for them, but also standing in that.
Yeah.
And standing in who doesn't. And that's okay.
Well,
it's
it kind of negates that long-term pain, and I think there's a way to get it out of the gate probably earlier, I guess is the way I would say that. So
yeah. Well, that's good. I want to jump in and record that aspect because it's an important thing, and I don't think that, I don't know, that maybe we feel like we have to have permission, or I mean, as a business owner, it's kind of hard to say no to a client, right? That, hey, I want you to be a client. That's just not. It's not a natural thing,
Well,
but it's important. So
always fun.
Yeah, that's good.
All right.
That's
all
the
we got
podcast.
today. Sweet. Short and
There
sweet.
you go.
I'll take it.
There you go.
Take it on
You're
a
a free man.
All right, brother. Good to see you. See ya.
You've just experienced the Lion's Edge. If this episode lit a fire, if you're ready to push past your current ceiling, there's more waiting for you. Want to see what it takes to become a member of the Lion? Visit jointhelion.com to discover how successful entrepreneurs become unstoppable forces. And make sure you never miss an episode by hitting subscribe wherever you get your podcasts. This isn't just content. This is your edge.
This show is powered by Media Leads. Tired of being overlooked in your industry? Learn how market gravity can transform you into the leader everyone's talking about by going to MediaLeadsCo.com.